Funding for this program comes from American Advertising Federation of Roanoke and the Virginia Film Office.
I guess the memory is just us coming in as a family and knowing that that's where we were going to sleep that night, and that everybody had their own space, and it was just a calming and comforting feeling. That's all I know how to explain it. It was just, and pride, like, because I have provided a home for my children.
They're not the rich and famous. Their profit comes not from the thing they sell, but the good they do. Our nation has more than 1.5 million nonprofits that employ 1 out of 10 Americans, providing services that otherwise go unfulfilled, keeping our community connected when all else fails. But nonprofits often lack the tools to properly promote themselves, to inspire more donors and volunteers and clients to their cause. That's where I come in. I've been in the nonprofit world for nearly 20 years. I connect nonprofits with marketing professionals who donate their time and expertise so that, at the end of the day, these life-giving organizations can do more, do better, by creating more. That's right, buzz. Home is where the heart is, but it's where your money is too. And for most of us, money determines not only the quality of the home that we can afford, but its condition once we move in. On today's episode of Buzz, I want to introduce you to a nonprofit whose name and brand you may think you already know. It's the local affiliate of a national organization dedicated to making housing affordable. But the unique work that it's doing here locally may one day become a model across our country, ensuring that the real value of our homes isn't measured in dollars, but in heart.
Hi, my name is Jim Drader. I'm Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity of the New River Valley. Habitat is an organization that provides the construction of safe, affordable housing here in the New River Valley, as well as critical home repair for those aging in place or low income. We serve approximately 550 families throughout the year here in the New River Valley, not only from a housing standpoint, creating new houses, but also providing resources for home counseling, home buyer counseling, any type of eviction resources. We have a pool of agencies that work with us, collaborate with us to provide that assistance.
Habitat for Humanity, actually, we celebrated our 35th anniversary a year and a half ago. And so it's been in the area for quite a number of years. We've gone through various levels of support and organization, but we had our first restore was in Christiansburg in 2007. Probably one of the real highlights that really got us going in this current decade, I guess, was our 2012 build. We'd been going through some financial difficulties, and we finally got together to where we had a blitz build. We had 150 people showed up to build 2 houses, and most of this was done in 2 days.
Habitat has built individual houses in the kind of traditional Habitat way. That's a single-family house on a lot. But that's not the best way to deal with the housing needs that exist in these times, as well as in this area. So we built our first duplex about 4 or 5 years ago. And then last year, a really exciting project was 7 townhomes that was built in Blacksburg. And we're in the process of building 7 townhomes in Floyd right now. So the ground was just broken for that project.
Habitat does not give away houses. Our homeowners all have mortgages, whether those are our mortgages that they pay us or a community mortgage, a third-party mortgage. Budgeted cost on those new town projects, those 7-unit townhomes, are about $225,000 to $250,000 a piece. So for each one of those units, we are attempting to deliver those homes to those residents at $135,000 to $140,000. So that difference is the volunteer hours that happen with their home, their sweat equity, donated materials, and then the great donations. And so that's that spread between what the actual cost is and the delivered price of the home.
If you don't know where you're going to sleep tonight, if you don't know that you have a secure place to live, it really eliminates all other aspects of life. You can't keep a job. It's really hard to work if you don't have a place. Children going to school, that's that kind of insecurity. Think about studying. Where are you going to study? How are you going to study? Health, without a secure place to live. I mean, we know there's a direct connection between having secure shelter and health. So it's not only physical health, but mental health. It is so important to know that where you live, the house you own, if you own a house, it can be secure and you don't have to worry about that aspect of living.
We are funded, the Restore here that we're sitting in today funds pretty much 90 to 100% of our operational costs. So it handles all the salaries, all the carrying cost of us, and then we look at the donations that we receive from individuals, businesses, churches, as we're able to put those directly into the projects.
People come to the Restore, people donate to the Restore, people buy from the Restore. Every time you buy something from the Restore, you're building a house. Donations, contributions, every time you make a contribution, you're building a house. You might be hammering a nail, you might be putting in a window, but every donation goes to building a house.
So as part of our strategic planning process, we're trying to identify and look at opportunities that exist within the New River Valley. We can build homes. We can build 7-unit townhouses, but when we do that, all the resources are tied up in that locality, right? And so phone calls don't stop for critical home repair. And so how can we create a greater impact in the New River Valley on a proactive rather than a reactive basis? And so we've got a great model that we've been part of down in Floyd called FISH, which is Floyd's Initiative for Safe Housing, that provides critical home repair. And it's a combination of government, nonprofits, faith communities, citizens, and businesses that have come together in a common goal of creating a committee basically to take care of those repairs. So it's setting up those same type of committees in Giles and Pulaski, City of Radford, and Montgomery. But Montgomery is so huge, so why not break it down into Blacksburg, Christiansburg, and as we looked at it, Eastern Montgomery County. Again, what we need to do is find individuals that can drive it. So we need individuals that have the desire to help those in their community that are living in unsafe environments, and how can we provide those resources? Habitat's got a great brand, right? We've got great resources at our ability to get grant funds and all those things that come together, but we just need that catalyst in the community that can be proactive rather than that reactive.
To help get these new community task forces or steering committees or whatever they're going to be called off the ground, our good friends at 5 Points Creative were on the case. And to create this pilot program in eastern Montgomery County, I didn't have to look any further than the Eastmont Community Foundation. In December 2020, we featured this incredible organization working to enhance the quality of life for people in the eastern Montgomery County communities of Shawsville and Elliston. And as always, Board President Lauren Tate and Vice President Jim Pierman were eager to learn more. I want to thank everybody for getting together here. Eastmont Community Foundation folks meeting with Habitat for Humanity of the New River Valley. And with that, Jim Drader, I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
So as part of Habitat Humanity's next 3-year strategic plan, we have the desire to set up steering committees in each one of the counties that we represent throughout the New River Valley. So we're looking for partners in those communities to consolidate, to put together a committee with the help of Habitat to address those needs. And so we're looking for funding sources, we're looking for volunteers, project managers, anything that we can do to help those citizens within each one of our communities.
So Michael, I think what I'm hearing you say is like doing kind of a drop-in session or an open house or something, or not an open house, but just a information session, maybe in the courtyard at Meadowbrook one evening, and getting the word out to people that anybody who's interested in, future information to stop by. And Jim Drader, could you have like some brochures and be there to answer questions and things like that for anybody who wanted to stop by and sign up?
Certainly. Yes, sure.
Well, I think the timing could fit in, Michael, with that type of listening session presentation. Would provide more data and information for the Eastmont Community Foundation board to look at too. So
Okay.
At least we can help get this information session put together.
I think we're also really fortunate in Eastern Montgomery County to have a lot of handy people who can do this work and who have a very generous heart and are willing to give of their time and their talent to help their neighbors in need. So, I'm thankful to Eastmont Community Foundation for your willingness to, at least try to bring these people together to learn more about all the great work that Habitat for Humanity is doing.
My name is Crystal Hollins. I work at Virginia Tech in Mail Services. I'm from Blacksburg, and that's where I live now in my Habitat home.
My name's Heinrich Curtis, and I'm originally from New Jersey. My family moved around a lot when I was growing up as they were chasing work. And then after that, I joined the Army and I moved around a bunch more. When I got out of the service, I decided that I wanted to get my degree, and I saw Virginia Tech as the best school, so I moved to Blacksburg.
My name is Melanie Dudding. I live here with my daughter, Brooke Carter. She's 15, soon to be 16. Here in about 2 weeks. We live here in Christiansburg, Virginia.
My living situation before Habitat, I had a trailer here in Blacksburg, and it was an older trailer. It needed a lot of repairs that I really could not do and couldn't afford. And I had 2 children. It was a 2-bedroom trailer, but I knew I was eventually going to need a bigger place.
I was living here in Christiansburg in a townhome with my daughter, 2 bedrooms, real expensive rent, over $900, and I needed something more permanent that I could put my money into and get a reward for. And that's, I started looking, and the market was not so kind as far as the housing prices here with what I made currently and the job that I was in and being a single mom. So I knew I had to make a move of some type. I just wasn't sure which direction to go into.
So before we moved into our Habitat house, we lived in a series of apartments. I lived separate from my family after I got out of the service for a little bit, but all the members of my family lived in different apartments, and you always had to deal with the uncertainty of rising rents every year, with conditions with like issues with your landlord, things like that, and it was never very stable. And one of the issues that I had was when I was living apart from my mom. She's older, she's like handicapped now, and I was afraid that she wouldn't have a stable living situation. I was very concerned about her moving from apartment to apartment every year.
These houses are 30% more efficient, so that the people living in them won't have to pay quite as much for the utility bills, which of course is important when you're doing low-income housing. We try to make everything as efficient as possible. The walls have a higher insulation rating than is required. These houses are a little tighter than they need to be. The HVAC systems are a little more efficient than is required by code. So basically what we're saying is we're gonna keep these things a little more robust, a little bit more energy efficient, because we understand that affordable housing needs to remain affordable for years, and we don't want them to turn into something somebody wouldn't want to live in.
My name's Tyler Pegram. I'm a computer engineering major here at Virginia Tech. I've been here for about 5 years, and I'm from just outside the Charlotte, NC area. My role with Habitat for Humanity is I'm the interim president and the advisor for Habitat for Humanity at VT, which is the campus outreach branch of Habitat for Humanity in the New River Valley. Habitat for Humanity at Virginia Tech averages on about 150 members a year, and the majority of those members are they join our mailing list and they come to volunteer events when they can. So we might see a member once, we might see them every event. But then there's on average about 7 officers that actually keep the club running.
When I was in college, I decided that I wanted to do some stuff that was more hands-on. A lot of the work that I did in college is very theoretical, and I'm a more practical hands-on guy. So I decided doing some volunteer work for Habitat would be interesting. And I looked up and I found that there was one right here in the New River Valley.
So I heard from a friend that had gotten a Habitat home, and I seen her house, and I was like, wow, this is a great program. And so she told me to go and apply, and I went and applied, and I started the application, and you have to have an interview. They come to your house, they look at your living conditions, and then they go back to the board and they make they vote basically to see if you're eligible for the home. So, and I was eligible. They actually called me at work one day, and I got the phone call, and my friends at work thought something had happened because I started crying. So they were like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I got my house." So it was, I tear up now thinking about it, but it was a really happy day. So,
I was involved in a lot of the framing. So during the construction of these homes, we had the whole COVID pandemic lockdown thing happened. So there was a period of time when no one was allowed to volunteer on the site. But before that, I helped a lot with the carpentry to put the framing of all the houses together. I helped with a lot of the roofing. I roofed all of the porches that are in the back for the units that have porches. I put a lot of the flooring together, the floor trusses, and a lot of the carpentry, things like that. A lot of firewall between the units.
I did everything from nailing. I put on some of the roof. I did installation. I poured concrete, dug holes. It was actually an amazing feeling that I've never been able to capture before in my life. I've mowed the lawn at my parents' before, but building a house is something I never envisioned for myself, physically taking part in. To picking out the colors of the flooring, to the cabinetry. It was overwhelmingly amazing.
and so every weekend I would come and help with stuff I didn't know what I was doing, but I've learned a lot. I learned how to use saws. I know how to put windows in. I know how to put siding up, drywall, which I don't like, paint, all of that stuff. So I know my house from the inside out because I helped with every aspect of building my house. So, and that gave me a lot of pride that I helped build my house.
I've definitely improved my carpentry skills a lot volunteering with Habitat, and definitely soft skills working with people are a big thing that you learn working with Habitat, because you have to learn very quickly to get along with people, especially if you have a differing of opinion on how you should be doing something, especially on a job site. So I'll be moving back home. So I'll be moving back to the farm. So I'll be back to building things every day. So I'll get to use those skills there. And then being an engineer, those soft skills are incredibly important because we don't get that education. We get the technical education. We don't get the soft skills, the business skills of how to interact with people in a business setting. You can't just fly off and be mad at somebody in a business setting. You have to know how to say things, how to express your opinions, and that's something that engineers, quite frankly, don't get enough education on, and Habitat has been a big help in learning some of those skills.
So the Giles Technical Center program that we run with the kids over there is very important to us as well. This is actually kind of how we got our start back into affordable housing, building actual houses after the crash in 2008. The Giles Technical Center builds us, we're on our 8th one, they build us a house at the school, and we actually put it on a truck and move it to a foundation that we will have pre-built. So the students at the school get the firsthand knowledge of building a house, as well as a Habitat home buyer in somewhere in Giles County getting a house. So it's the benefits are twofold, and we're very proud of that program, and we're very proud of the students who are able to help us with that.
I have had many friends over now. I want to entertain now because I want to show off this beautiful monument, this building that I put my heart and soul into, and some of my coworkers and friends and family did the same. So it's just we have a lot of warmth, we have a lot of laughter, and a lot of hugs and fun inside of the house that we now call home.
Well, I would like for people to know, especially like a single mom, it's hard. It's very hard to try to have a nice place for your children to live and to work and provide for your children. And it's not a hand out, it's a hand up is what Habitat is. I have seen so many changes in me, my children, since we've gotten a home. It's really put a lot more pride in us. I stand a little taller because of it. I'm very proud of myself. And I don't normally say that, but I'm very proud of myself.
Habitat for Humanity's initiative of developing multi-unit homes on limited land to serve more people has been recognized with awards from numerous organizations, including Viridiant and the Virginia Governor's Housing Conference. And to help Habitat for Humanity with its newest initiative, it was time for me to check in with 5 Points Creative.
I was like, no, because you have the habitat, it should be separate. Michael, what we realized was sometimes the projects we've done have been very big and very substantial for the nonprofits we've worked with you. But in this case, I think Habitat needed something very specific. So what we really wanted to do was to brand the organization's outreach groups and to come up with a name for those, and then use that information to help them.
Right, because they had been looking at like task force or committee or steering committee, very boring generic terms. And so you guys were challenged with trying to make it something a little sexier, a little more inviting for people to want to be part of that.
Right, and so the idea of the name, the brand, and then using the video, I think really plays out well.
Yeah.
So the team presented to me these three options.
So we started working together, had several brainstorming sessions, and Hearts for Home is where that came from. And the beauty of this is we can take it, and then if they want to go to Reiner, it can be Hearts for Home Reiner, Hearts for Home Floyd, anywhere in the NRB that they want to take this, they can just change the name out, which we can do that for them, or they can even do it themselves for that matter. And it's pretty self-sufficient.
Well, thank you all so much again.
Glad to help. We love the work that you guys are doing, and of course, what Kim and Jim and the whole team at Habitat for Humanity, the NRV, is doing is really powerful stuff.
Yep. Medicines.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming tonight. My name is Jim Drader. I'm the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity of the New River Valley, and I am pleased with this turnout tonight. We are looking forward to the Catalyst group that I have in front of me that will help us with a vision, I guess, of what we're trying to accomplish here in the New River Valley. In all honesty, from a habitat standpoint, this is new wave. There aren't many. We've got interest from our state organization, the Virginia affiliate, as well as international, about what we're trying to accomplish by putting together these smaller groups in the community to be, again, more proactive than reactive. I think that Michael said it best when we're like first responders. So this group is like the first responders. They know of the need. They hear the needs at the food pantry, at the library, of those that need something fixed in their home because it's leaking or because it's plumbing or ADA or whatever it may be. And right now we get those phone calls every day. I don't have any place to plug in. Contractors are extremely busy, and we only have a staff of 5 people. I am pumped specifically because of Eastern Montgomery County, and there's a need. We always know there's a need, right? Everybody knows someone that needs something done around their house that can make it safer or warmer. And so why not create a group of volunteers with skills that have some resources, financial resources, to make those kind of things happen. And so if we can be part of this group, we are definitely looking forward to it.
My name's Zach Milton. I'm a lifelong resident of the area. I'm a realtor. I've been doing construction here for probably the last 10 years. It's just nice to see somebody else sort of interested in the area. You know, I've done several fixer-uppers myself and have some old buildings that I know need some attention, and I've seen several more that probably could use a little bit of loving. And it's nice that somebody can kind of come in and help prioritize some of those repairs.
So I'm Robert Pilkington. I'm an architect with Balzer & Associates. We're an architecture and engineering firm with offices throughout Virginia, and I live here in Shawsville, and I'm very much interested in the work that you guys are proposing to do here, and would love to help the cause. And as such, I'd like to pledge 40 to 60 hours, man hours of our time for architectural and engineering services to help with construction and permitting and code related issues. And that would roughly be of dollar value of somewhere in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $7,000 worth of time for us. But because I really love the cause, and I'm really interested in what you guys are doing, and very excited that you're here helping out Eastern Montgomery County.
I'm Brenda Sternfeld, and I'm the pastor at Crockett Springs United Methodist Church here in Shawsville and Halls United Methodist Church in Elliston. This would be a perfect fit, as we have retired folks that do all kinds of building trades from both churches. And I think that people have a deep desire to serve and to be a part of the community, and yet we've not really known how to do that. And so I believe that working with the Habitat folks would be an excellent way for us to get our foot in the door and to learn and be of service to our community as a whole.
Home is a stable, secure location. It's where you feel safe. It's where all of your things are. It's where you grow up. It's where you know people. It's where you have connections. And that's different than just a house. A house is not a home. A house can become a home, but a house is not a home.
You want to be able to come home and feel comfortable, you want to feel healthy, and you want to feel like you have a place where your family can feel those things too, so that you can ultimately be productive and you can ultimately have a good life. That's what home is. I mean, that's one of the things we need, right? We need food, water, and shelter. And shelter is what we do. So I think it's almost primal feeling that we need to have a home, and that's what Habitat provides.
So the morning of our build, I drive up my road and I see hundreds of people, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So it was very overwhelming. And like, I parked and I just had to sit in my car for a few minutes because I was like, this is a lot to take in, and it was just overwhelming that many people came to help.
And help you.
Yeah, and my family, my kids.